Here, Brett, and a solid second place finish.
Yeah, I got to shout out the Turn 2 Terribles over there. They're all a bunch of good guys to hang out with, talk to. I really like them.
What's going on out there? Turn 2 Terribles here. I am Jimbo, Danny Dietrich's best friend. We're here with Jay-Z, Jeremy Zarfos, and Chris Lynn. We are the Turn 2 Terribles. We are without Josh here for the first of a few weeks as he is having some vacation season over the pond. This is episode 15. Wild how many changes have already been. We appreciate you all for coming, checking us out, and listening and participating in the chat. We want to hear all your opinions. So thank you all for letting us get this far. This is kind of a mini milestone here. We got a lot to talk about this week. I say that every week, but we got a lot of stuff on dirt going on here locally. And also the World of Outlaws and All-Star seasons coming towards the end here. So points battle's getting a little tight. We'll also preview the Tuscarora 50. We're also going to talk about NASCAR, of course. The playoffs started at Darlington for the Southern 500. It was a pretty eventful race, and we'll preview Kansas next week and kind of just give our playoff outlook. Of course, drinking and dumping at the end. How you guys doing? Jeremy, how are you doing?
Man, I am happy to be here. You know, last week we were on the show. I was so tired last week and was tired. I wanted to bring some energy tonight. Completely forgot it was going to be today. I'm going to step out at the NASCAR time because I didn't watch a lap of Darlington. Just heard there was, a little bit of drama here and there, but I am excited to be here tonight, man.
We're excited to have you. Yeah, we were supposed to do this tomorrow night, but we were planning on being at Port Royal today, but it rained out, so we figured let's do it tonight on our normal night. So, Chris, how are you doing?
Pretty good, just recovering, but happy to be here. Don't have Jeremy energy yet, but I'm sure somebody will get me.
Let's go. We're gonna do it tonight, buddy. I'm on level 10 tonight. I'm fired up.
Let's go. Good. Well, let's get into it. Let's start locally here with dirt. Williams Grove on Friday night. 69K. Lance DeWeese with the win. Danny Dietrich second. Lucas Wolf third. Brian Brown started his tour of PA here, as he usually does here in the fall. Good to see him come around. We're going to probably start seeing a lot more invaders with the Tuscarora 50 coming in this week. I didn't see any of this race. I was down at a concert. I know Chris was down in Baltimore. Jeremy, were you there?
I was camping and had barely any signal. Was trying to stream the All-Star race, but didn't hear too much drama from it. Thankfully Austin Bishop's okay. I saw he got a little bit of a fire incident and
Yeah.
got burned up, so thankfully he's okay. But it looks like Lance took the win there, and did kind of the players you expected to be there. Good run for Lucas being top 3 for sure.
Yeah.
Haven't really mentioned his name lately as far as podium finishers, so that was a good run for him.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, Lance's that 69K car I think is going to start coming on here with the money on the line the next couple weeks. Kind of what is it? I don't want to say we shouldn't take it for granted because you don't know how much longer we're really going to have that with that. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to be negative there. It's just kind of for me especially as a Lance fan and everything and a fan of that car. Just just take it. You don't know how long they're going to be as strong as they are. Every single year, you think they're gonna. I don't want to say every single year, but you start thinking that they're going to fall off, and they never do. They just come out and they win races.
I mean, they do what they do, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I think that everybody knows their strengths and weaknesses, and the tracks that suit their style best. They're not necessarily the most adaptable to some surfaces, but when it's right, they're going to be right there with anybody. So they're going to be a name that you're going to have to deal with as we get into the fall here. That other part of that Williams Grove night was a 358 race, some good money on the line. Their summer series, and they had some invaders, some guys come down for the 410 division race, and to see Derek Locke still take the win home is pretty awesome.
Yep.
That car, he hasn't been as dominant this year in the 358s as he was last year, but to see him go out there and take the money home as a 358 guy. I mean, he's dabbled more in 360s and 410s this year than I think in years past, but to see him take home the win was pretty cool too.
Yeah, absolutely. And been seeing him in the 410s more and more, Derek Locke. It's awesome to see some of these guys, Brett Strickler, and that some of these guys make the step up. I mean, it kind of happens every year, but it's especially around this time you start seeing guys starting to make the step up a little bit, kind of make that transition. But I think we got a really good group of guys maybe making the step up here, including Derek is definitely one of them.
I'd like to see he could do with a good,
to go double duty here tonight, boys.
Full-time 410 program, and get that rolling. If they get anything, competitive like they have in that 358, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with in Central PA. So it'll be cool. Another good car is always a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. There's 22 cars, I believe, at Williams. Or no,
that sounds right. There was over 30.
23.
It was like 30. Yeah, it was like 37 358s because it was a lot of money up for grabs for the 358 race, which was awesome of Williams Grove to do. And I think it was like 23 or 24. It's just short of a full field, I believe.
Sounds
for
right.
410s, but still a good number, a good car count. Even with some of our main guys out in Ohio, a couple of our main guy, basically. Well, two of them, Brett Marks and Anthony Macri out in Ohio with the All-Stars, where Brett Marks on Friday night won the Share Nationals. Just another night, another Brett Marks win, man.
They won the prelim night, kind of got up front there, and it wasn't necessarily walk away with it, but did what he had to do and won that race. And then that was the prelim night, and then Saturday night had to come from a little bit deeper, and definitely was like we was there, he fell back a little, and then got to second at the end and just ran out of time. And that was, I did get to watch some of the Friday night race. I got to see some of, and then actually, for whatever reason, I don't know what's happened at Lincoln, but they have like 5G signal at Lincoln, and I was able to watch the All-Star race, stream it live while I was watching the 410 feature.
What service do you have? Because I had absolutely no service when I was there last weekend.
Xfinity Mobile, and some nights it's still that way. But here, for whatever reason, the last like 6 weeks, I've like uploaded pictures and downloaded videos and sent stuff. I was like, let's go. And there was a red flag during the 410 feature, and I got to watch the end of the Sharon race, the main. And Cap Henry did what he had to do and had him covered, but Brent was there, and there was, like, I thought Peck Peck did his thing where he actually got by Brent in the middle stages of that feature. He was coming, but Brent came up just a little bit short there at the end. But another good weekend for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Right down there, we see Dakota Kuhn over here. Chris's shirt is tits. The number 90. Jordan Gibler right there. That is his crew chief. He will be on the show. We're announcing it right now. He'll be on the show next week. So make sure you tune in. We're going to be picking his brain a little bit on what he knows.
It's going to be a short show. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot. You're not going to have a lot to talk about. It doesn't. We'll be entertained.
Yeah, it'll be a show, that's for sure. We're pumped to have Dakota on. We've been talking about this for a little bit. Been talking about him and a few others. We're trying to bring everybody on. We're kind of, the full transparency, we're trying to save it a little bit for the off season when these guys have a little bit more time and we'll have more things to talk about. So and we'll have more time to talk about it really. So, but thanks for Dakota with this busy schedule for coming out next week and coming on and being on the show and coming out tonight and checking us out.
That's race-winning crew chief Dakota.
Race-winning crew chief
Dakota.
Dakota.
410 winning crew chief.
Damn straight. Cam Jester over in the chat too. Also over there, he's there with the Final Corner guys. Thanks for checking us out. He made a point before. Competitive racing is always a great thing, and I full-heartedly agree. It's definitely something that is we're not short of that here in PA. That's for sure.
And whoever Steel City Demon is won't shut up, so we're going to skip past his stuff. Cam Jester, are you kidding me? Y'all at a racetrack in the middle of nowhere. Me in Idaho, slowest cell service possible. I don't even know they had cell phones in Idaho, to be honest. So, in fact, you might have one. Let's, got a Facebook user. What's up?
I believe Facebook user last week was Truck Guy. I believe that might be Truck Guy.
Travis?
Yeah, it might be Travis Truck Guy.
Truck Guy thought I was Chris. It's all good.
Well, let's get into Saturday. Lincoln Speedway. We're going to have a little bit to talk about here.
We'll see.
Top three at that event was Freddie Rahmer, Troy Wagaman, Dylan Norris. Freddie got into a little incident with a lap car, battling with Troy, I think for the lead. Opinions. Let's start with Chris.
So that was not a smart move, but definitely put on the Smeal plow, right rear, junked another car. You can't do that if you're Rahmer there. I don't think. To put it mildly, that was a terrible decision. Sliding right up and taking out and junking a whole entire race car.
I think it was a boneheaded move, but you're trying to get around a lap car, battling side by side with somebody. I just think he misjudged it. I don't think it was anything too malicious. It was boneheaded. It was definitely all on Freddie. But a lot of guys want to hang him at the stake because it's Freddie, and I can understand that. I just, I don't want to sound like a dick, but it's going to sound like a dick. You're a lap car. You got two guys battling for the top spot. Not saying it was anything. Chris Arnold did absolutely nothing wrong. But those things are going to happen when you're coming across a slow car sometimes. Jeremy, how do you feel about this?
It was unnecessary. It was avoidable. It was aggressive. So, I know him and Troy were side by side at the start-finish line, and Troy had run him down and was going to pass him, and he showed him the nose. He knew he was there. Freddie knew that it was his chance to win that race probably right there. So he took that opportunity. Obviously, he puts himself at risk knowing he could make contact with that car and wreck his own car. So to say that he wrecked the Arnold on purpose or to say that he something intentional is horseshit, in my opinion. But it was obviously a lack of judgment. It was an aggressive move. And with the closing speed he had and the slider line he took, he obviously wanted to be clear of him and make Arnold check up, obviously, right? Arnold did nothing wrong. Arnold, he could have seen the blue flag, but he's still racing for position. There was another car right there.
There was there's a gaggle of cars there.
There's a car on the top and bottom, and Freddie wanted to split the middle between Troy and the lap car. So, you know, I hate it for Chris Arnold. I mean, he didn't do a damn thing wrong.
That sucks.
Was caught up in a poor judgment move by Freddie. But for anybody to say it was intentional is just not a fan of Freddie's. It was horseshit.
Right.
Freddie was trying to win his race.
Dietrich fans.
100%, and it's a love it or hate it, right? You're either one or the other right now. I mean, that's what Lincoln is right now. You're booing Freddie or you're booing Danny, and there's no way between. There's no middle ground. There's no common sense or judgment here, and they both do the same dumb shit and make it justifiable in their own minds, right? But at the same time, Freddie did get out and said, "Listen, I made a mistake here. I can't take it back. I hate that it happened. But I had to take my shot and go. And I don't blame him for that. If I'm leading that race, do I follow the lap car in the cushion and lose the race, or do I take my chance to clear him and go?
Mm-hmm.
I see it all the time when you see leaders at any level of competitive sprint car racing trying to clear lap cars. They take chances.
Yeah. You have to,
and sometimes it works, and sometimes it absolutely doesn't. So
you have to, because you when you get into those situations, you want to be the second place guy sometimes, because you can see a little bit better and know where you can make that pass then, and usually that guy will check out. So I'm with you.
You got to force the lap car's hand, and you don't want to see it intentional like that. Right there's a Danny Dietrich fan. Mm-hmm. So it's a new level. Like, this has never happened in the history of sprint cars before. Like, get the hell out of here, bro. So like, it's the first time a car's ever wrecked another car because it was lack of judgment. Okay, first time ever, I guess so. So that's just my take on it.
I'm in agreement with you. Steel City Demon over here, which is David Schmiel, which we got to give up a real quick FDS. I really didn't see anybody call it intentional, which is true. I guess anybody's really calling it intentional. But it's a new level of stupid and unbelievable incompetence that is rich coming from a Danny Dietrich fan. I will agree. But yeah, it was. I'm glad that he got out of the car at the end and said, "Hey, yeah, that's on me, man. But you got to do what you got to do." It's just. The biggest victim out of all of it was definitely Chris Arnold. Got a car tore up for really no reason, just trying to run his line and run his race. So that's the biggest bummer out of it all.
My second biggest bummer is Troy Wogman, because he was going to win that race.
Yes.
He was going to run down a multi-time track champion, multi-time winner under green flag conditions, run him down and pass him, and I could not be more excited for Troy. And even his lap time trial lap was awesome. Like, he's been doing everything right. Shy of the week after the win when they didn't even make the A. I don't know how that happens. I still don't understand it, but give him shit for that every time I see him. But he did everything right. He went out fairly late. Attaboy Cam. Troy went out fairly late, and his car was fast. And I was able to stand. Freddie and Troy were far enough in front of third place for a while there that you could watch them you could hear the throttle, and you could watch them take the corner. And Troy was driving so hard, and I think Freddie even admitted his car wasn't great. He was struggling a little bit at times, but shout out to Troy, man. He was so close, and he's certainly pumped up. And it's September, so you almost wish the season could go longer for him to get some more wins, and he still could. Definitely pumped for next year. Hopefully they get some support and backing and some funding so they can really go after it next year, because I think they can win multiple races.
Yeah, that team out there is pulling in with an open trailer every week, which is already lovable off the bat. And then he goes out there, and he's always top 10 in time trials. He's just always up there, and
wheels the shit out of it.
He wheels the shit out of that, and he's out there embarrassing them, man. Like, he's embarrassing all these other teams that probably have 5 times the budget as him, just wheeling the shit out of that thing. So shouts out to Troy.
For sure, man. 358 feature. Wyatt Henkel finally gets it done to 358. He's had a rough season, a lot of wrecked, torn up cars, a lot of things happen, and got to know him a little bit. Seems like a good dude. Got to chat with him a lot throughout the year, and I think it was the last time the 358s were there. He was so fast, and that car was a rocket ship, and it broke something in the front end, nosed into the fence, and talked to him after. He was certainly dejected. He was going for it though, and he, or I think he actually made contact with another car off the corner, nosed into the fence. But I saw him at, I think, Lincoln in between week, and the week last week, and I saw him in there at Lincoln. And he said, hey, I'm not going to be upset. And his dad, I think it was his dad standing there potentially, and said, I ain't going to be mad at him for going for it. And I said, car's fast, man. Get it back together and go. And he put it on full display in that 358 feature. I think it was a rocket ship all night long. So shout out to Wyatt Henkel for sure.
Shouts out to him. Chris, you got anything on the Lincoln thing?
No, not the only. I really only saw the Freddie thing, and just we were at Port, so
Yes, that's what
see
we're
much
going to get
else.
into next Saturday night. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
a little bit of Twitter backlash, obviously. Guess who was 4 minutes after the
Yeah,
accident running their mouth on Twitter, right? Or
Yep.
Jimbo's boy Danny.
Yeah, my best friend.
And the world has taken notice. I mean, there was a lot of people really upset with how Freddie did that, and I got to be honest with you, I was upset about it too. But then I watched what we're going to get into here in a little bit about the Aaron Reutzel thing, and all the couch racers like us, judging these guys for what they're doing behind the wheel. These guys can't parallel park their damn personal cars, let alone drive a race car. So, but drivers, different story. There's been an animosity there between Freddie and Danny, and I mean, I can't think you go on Twitter and say good job, Freddie, if you're Danny there. I mean, like anybody expected anything different.
Yeah, I thought it was real rich for a guy who was 60 some miles away to go and say something. But we all know that there is obviously a big tension there between the two, especially since the old man tried to choke out Danny inside his cockpit. So I
they don't like each other.
Yeah, they don't like each other very much.
don't.
So I understand it. But really, I mean, if it is what it is. I'm gonna reserve any more statements there. I'm gonna save that.
So
Port on Saturday night. That's where Chris and I were at. Fair opener. Big week at Port Royal. You had the fair opener Saturday night. We had what was supposed to be the Labor Day Classic today. Of course, we're getting deluged with rain right now. So that was canceled today. And then we got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, capping off Saturday with the $55,000 to win Tuscarora 50. Big week for them. This is the biggest week in Port Royal's season, pretty much. And Saturday night, Devin Borden in that number 23 Stamen Shuttlesworth car gets it done. It gets a really tough field. I mean, you had Brian Brown there who looked really good. You had Danny Dietrich there. Of course, Logan Wagner. You had Lance DeWeese. A very, very stout field there at Port Royal on Saturday night. And Devin Borden got it done. I was so impressed. Heat 1. So the first heat was stacked because it was random heats. I think by Pildra. I had to be. But you had Browning, Devin Borden, both Wagners, Logan and Mike, and Lance DeWeese all in the same 10-car heat. Devin Borden passed 6 cars on the fence, turn 1 and 2. I literally lost my hat and glasses because I was going nuts. I was like, holy, like I was when I'm like, no, where are you going? And he got himself
went
the
bottom
second.
middle, and he just went up top shelf and just drove around all of them.
They were 4 wide in the corner. It was a hell of a way to kick off the night.
I'm gonna go back and watch that. That's awesome. I'm gonna go see it.
He really he put it on display. He didn't get the win behind Brian Brown. Who got that first race win? But it was that was by far the deepest heat of the night, and he just looked fast all night. He was up there on the top. Once he got the lead in the feature, he was gone by a straightaway. Basically, Danny and Justin Whittle, who ended up getting third, they were battling out for second. Brian Brown was running really well. He started on the pole of the feature. He was running about 4th most of the race, and then right at the end, I think he blew it. He broke right at the finish line. It was funny.
I think Lance got him
Yeah, Lance was coming too. But yeah, hell of a run by Devin Borden. That 23 car, especially in the blue, looks fucking great, and it looks even better. Of course, it always looks better in victory lane. Thoughts on that?
Chris, go ahead, man. I don't have a bunch there.
It's a big move. I mean, Borden. I mean, he's shown flashes when he was in the Hefner car last year and this year, obviously. And he's always that guy who's been around, and then sometimes he's a coming out party like he did Saturday night. But I think it's big for that team. Formed over the summer.
First win since they got together a couple weeks ago.
I guess would be the better term for it. Reformed, with Shellsworth coming over, kind of building that with a new driver, new crew chief, finally getting the result. And I think we talked about it. I know you, Jamie, did, just because of Shellsworth. You know that car is going to go around Port Royal really well.
Yes.
And we've finally seen it. No matter where they go, that car is fast.
Shuttlesworth has a history of having guys that run really well at Port Royal. I mean, he had Macri, he had Zierfoss. I'm not sure exactly who he worked with before that, but I mean, he has a track record there.
He worked with Brent for a short time too. I don't know if it was with Brent was local or not, but Brent was good at Port Royal. I mean, always has been.
Yep.
So learn from
really
there.
Good kid too. I met him last year a couple times. Really like him. It's exciting. I mean, good for him.
Yeah. No, it was cool to see.
They ran the blue car. I saw some photos, so I assume it's blue. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you like the blue car or the red car better?
Man,
I'm the blue car.
I love the blue car. I'm just a little upset, man, because I pre-ordered the shirt. As soon as the team was announced, they had a shirt for pre-order, and it's the red car, and I got the shirt. And as soon as I got the shirt, they switched to the blue car. But it's fine. It's cool. I like that they have two different schemes. I feel like the blue is maybe like a special paint scheme because then they ran the red at Selinsgrove on Sunday night. But
and they ran red after they debuted the blue, and they ran the red after that, even in between.
So I wonder if they just have two cars that I wonder if they have two cars that they switch through. I love the blue though.
Big fan of the red with the chrome. I like that car even when Pat Cannon was driving it. I don't know if like chrome is my thing, but man, that thing is sharp when it's clean and the sun's on it. So Borden, I'm not really surprised here. He should have won a couple weeks ago when he dumped it, backed it into the fence, trying to slide Gerard McIntyre. He was, I mean, if you go back and watch that race, the one that GMAC won, he was closing. I mean, he would have won that one by a half a lap that day. So, don't take anything away from GMAC. He did his job, but Borden made that one mistake. But right now, I think if the car's under him and he has the track, he's going to be as good as anybody if he can put the whole race together. And I think a lot of people forget it's his second full season in a 410.
Right?
And in his career.
And he's so right. You also got to. I think we also got to remember too. He's 3,000 miles from home.
And he's using bull rings and stuff like that.
And
another thing,
in 360s,
right? It kind of came through in his interview a little bit in Victory Lane, how much pressure I think he had on himself.
Yes.
And how much he was driving the hell of that thing to try to prove that he belonged and that team belonged or whatever it was. And so I think this could set him up fairly nicely to go on a little run here to end the season out. And just knowing this, I remember the first time I talked to him, you would have thought this kid's puppy just died because he finished 10th or something at Williams Grove, and he was just so dejected about how tough it was coming out here. And that was last spring.
Yep.
But just knowing how much pressure I think that takes off his back is going to be big down the stretch.
I've been a fan of him since he came over in that family car, and he ran his first 410 laps at Williams Grove against the Outlaws, and I remember being there for that race, and he was just screaming up on all the other cars are off the throttle. There's one car screaming, and it's him just ripping the freaking top, and I love that. He was just kid going balls to the wall. He obviously he had a lot to learn, but. And like you said, Chris, he's so down on himself if he doesn't win, and he's really adapted to the 410 quickly. It's not easy to come in the PA and do what he's doing. You know what I mean? Especially
and especially since he's going to the tracks that are so different than his. It's not he's going
That's
to Lincoln,
what I mean.
Which would be somewhat closer to what they have the bull rings out.
You're not seeing anybody else. Tell me another local guy who's going that quickly from 360s to 410s and having that success. You know what I mean? Brett Strickler, let's go.
My hero, Brett Strickler, baby. Podium, third race ever. No, you're 100% right. And I think we got to remember there's a lot of Borden fans out there, but there's a lot of people that are be like, oh, I don't know about this guy. Okay, well, when you jump in that 72 or 27 car, there's comes a lot of expectations. Okay,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
we need to temper some of those expectations because you look at Tim Schaefer, who was in it after Greg passed, and you look at that, and he was barely making out of C mains at big shows there. Okay,
Yep.
Tim Schaefer just won a race this weekend.
Mhm.
Tim Schaefer is a veteran, and that car couldn't get out of its own way for a while. Okay, so they had a lot to work on. They had a lot to get communication together. It was kind of a new team, and learning a driver. And one thing that I'm nobody special, but when I look at him, and you never ever have to tell the kid to drive harder.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you put that together, and you have to, hey, let's finish the race and put all the laps together and avoid that one mistake, right? He's a guy that'll do it, and there's two of them that stand out to me in Central PA that are that way, is Dylan Norris and Devin Borden.
Yeah.
As a guy who is doing photos this year, my first time ever, they're the best two cars to photo in Central PA because they're always doing something insane with the race car that makes it look badass. And literally hot laps. One of my first pictures I ever took at Lincoln this year was a hot lap session with Devin Borden entering turn 1 at Lincoln and was just idling and gassed up, pulled the wheels off the freaking ground as the corner's starting. I'm like, what the hell is happening? Okay. It's one of the first pictures I ever took that I'm like, this is cool. The kid just stands on it, man.
Yeah.
And Dylan Norris is the same way. And he has a bright future ahead of him. I'm excited what this combination can grow and build into. Hopefully it's a long-term deal. And that was impressive Saturday night for sure.
I think it really shows a lot about Pennsylvania sprint car racing as a whole. When you have a kid coming from the completely opposite side of the country, wanting to come here to come and learn and get better at racing, you know what I mean? Because I think obviously maybe the end, I don't know what the end goal for him is, but obviously I don't think it's to run Pennsylvania for the next 20 years of his life. Let's be real. You know what I mean?
Place to do it for sure.
This
right?
is the place to do it. So I think it really shows how tough it is here, and how much it is just because you're either going, if you want to go and get better at 410s, you're either coming here or you're going to Knoxville. And Knoxville only runs pretty much 3 months out of the year, so you're pretty much going to come here. So
not Ohio.
Ohio's right there.
Maybe.
I would say that maybe.
The competition in Ohio is not
sarcastic.
The thing is, there's enough racing in Ohio, but the competition's not there.
I agree.
And
That's
Knoxville,
Yep.
Knoxville doesn't have any real big show. I mean, I guess all their shows are big, but they have time trials. But you don't have like the stuff we have here with 3 different tracks, 3 different types of tracks as the main 3, not counting BAPS and these other ones that have big events also. So you kind of get all that experience with the traveling series that come in, plus just a weekly show. So there's a lot more opportunity here, in my
Plus
opinion.
the amount the traveling series come in here. I mean,
Right.
you get to run weekly for good money, as Smeal just said. We'd probably pay the best out of anybody in the country here at all
Capital
the
world.
yeah, fuck Knoxville.
They
But
have a museum.
But not just that, you get to run weekly against some of the best in the country, and then you also get the traveling series coming in pretty often where you get to try a bunch of things for a couple weeks, and then you get to immediately try it. You don't have to go out of your backyard to go and try it. You get to try it when they come there multiple times a year. So third of the schedule of the All-Star schedule is PA, that's for sure. And All-Star's always been a pretty much
Right. I mean,
PA, Ohio type
it's a
of
regional
centric
series. is
Yeah,
what it
it's a
is.
regional series. They tried to go national, but didn't work out very well for them. But they're pretty much a PA, Ohio, Midwest series. Yeah. So Devin Borden, I was amped up for that, even though I was hungover. It was just that heat race got me going, watching him make that move, and then. But yeah, another tip of the cap to Justin Whittle. He ran really well. He started up there, and you thought he was just gonna fall back to maybe 5th, 6th, 7th. But he battled it out with Danny. He battled it with Danny Dietrich until the very end, through lap traffic for that second spot. Lost it to Danny at the end, but he really he really ran really well.
He's had some good runs at Port this year. It's been a scattering of them, but he's definitely, I think, gained some speed and confidence this year for sure. Still making a few mistakes here and there, but he's a young guy too. I think a lot of people forget he's been around a few years now, but like him and Aaron Bollinger and Austin Bishop, they're young guys. They're that next batch, man. They just start putting races together. They have enough speed and they have enough to do it. They just got to put it all together.
Cam knows what he's talking about here. as far as dirt, PA is probably king. Next closest is Ohio, though hard to say for sure. I will give Ohio. Ohio has a lot of dirt tracks, and some of them are pretty damn good, and they get a lot of cars. I mean, I think Attica had like 96 sprint cars between 305s, 360s, and 410s the other night. I mean, sprint car racing is definitely alive and well in Ohio.
I want to go to Attica, man. That place looks badass.
Me too. There's a couple tracks. I'd love to go to Ohio Speed Week one year. I really think. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple really good tracks in Ohio. I used to shit on it a lot, but honestly, they have some of the better. They honestly have some of the best, better racier tracks. And even though like a place like Sharon's basically Pennsylvania on the border, but we won't go there.
Sharon is definitely an Ohio truck because they don't have a water truck. So
that's true. Yeah, the biggest tell on a Ohio track is if it has a water truck or not.
Watching a 410 knock it over 80 miles per hour,
That was perfect timing, Brett, because this is where I was going to go next. Brett said he's been about to every track in Ohio except Attica. Also on Saturday night, Devin Borden's parts on Devin Borden's car did not win just in one track. Brett Perigo won at Grandview on Saturday night. Shouts out to him.
Let's go.
Let's fucking go, bud.
20-year-old
Oh,
tires.
boy.
Yeah, cheers to him.
Borden parts that he straightened.
So it was a good night. I think I put it in the Discord right after Devin won. About 10 minutes later, Brett came in. He's all pumped, and he's like, "Yeah, we just won at Grandview." So it's pretty cool. Like within
if you want to see him
20 minutes,
go watch his first cage climb and see how he almost
died. He almost broke his neck.
Really?
Yeah. The video.
You know what?
Up top there, and he's like, "I wasn't gonna do it." What did he say to Discord? I wasn't gonna do it, but the guy gave me a flag. He said, "Go up top."
And if you ever met Brett, he is the model of athletic ability.
Yes. I mean, he is the peak of human athleticism.
He is what goals for sure.
Yes.
I didn't even want to climb up.
He is agile like a cat.
Yeah. Cat. Yeah, we'll go with that.
That's right. Yeah, so I mean, maybe it's just he just had to come on Turn 2 Terribles because then his next race. I think Dakota next week he comes on.
Maybe
Jordan Gibler wins the race.
The National Open. Who knows?
Maybe. Brett says, "I'm in shape, just round." We love you, buddy. You're much more in shape than any of us, so that's for sure. And going out and winning races, man. I mean, he held off.
He's bringing us both down with him. That's fucked up.
He's 100% right. I'm about the same shape.
He's just trying to make himself feel better here by bringing us down with him.
I'm trying to give Brett a little bit of credit here. I'm not trying to slam you, bud, Mr. Insecure over here.
Could just go back to the start of the video where I'm outrunning you, bitch. Anyway, Brett could definitely kick my ass, though.
I was saving tires in that race, by the way, and then you took me out right at the finish line.
I give you the old Freddie real special, bud.
Yeah, you did. That's for sure. So Saturday night was a great night. Definitely for Stamen and Stamen affiliated cars. Also Saturday night, the Blaney Memorial, the All-Star race there. Brett Marks got second. And Cap Henry got a win, which was pretty good. I'm pretty happy to see him there. Him and Bill Balog, I mean, they don't get enough credit. They really run pretty well no matter where they go on this tour. And they're not winning a ton of races, but they're there and they're always strong. And it's good to see when those guys get wins there. They're able to break through, especially in a big win late. That's a pretty big race. It's one of the bigger races on probably the All-Star schedule, to be honest. It's the Blaney Memorial, so good for them.
It was cool to see Cap Henry pull that off. I mean, I'm obviously a Brent fan, so I want to see him win it. But if anybody was going to, it's cool to see Cap get that done, and that's a big win for that team, I'm sure. And I was thinking about this earlier and watching, the All-Star swing come through here and watching some All-Star races, a lot of them. I become more and more of a Bill Balog fan every time I watch this guy race, man. Like, he is a racer to his core.
Yeah.
And he ran IRA all those years and dominated, and he's taken on a bigger challenge. And I watched them at Lincoln last week, and they struggled. I mean, they were not great. They tore up a car, but that guy went out in the feature, took a provisional, and was just on the cushion and driving the piss out of it for 23rd.
He was hard charger, I believe.
I don't even remember.
He gained like 10 spots at least.
You know, I become more and more of a Bill Balog fan every time I watch him race. And over the weekend, I went to the grocery store at Giant Gettysburg, and I found some. Is it Anderson's maple syrup on
Yep,
his car? I found
think
it at
so. Yeah.
Giant Gettysburg has it, and
Nice.
I had Anderson's maple syrup this
Let's
weekend. You can't beat it.
go.
So
Let's go.
support those who support
Yeah,
racing, man.
damn straight.
I'm a big believer in all that. So you know, all these sponsors on these cars, and these businesses that decide to put their name on cars, man, support those who support racing, because that's where it's at.
I need to find some Anderson's maple syrup, to be honest. I think they'll have some at Port Royal. I might buy some.
They should, right? It would make
Yeah.
sense.
They're sponsoring. They're putting out a bunch of contingency money for the Tusky 50, and I believe they had a stand last year, so I'm going to try to get some because I'm gonna have the Blackstone out when we're camping, so maybe I'll make some pancakes and throw some Anderson's maple syrup on that bitch. Was it good?
Oh, I think so. Like I kind of missed breakfast. I was feeding my kids. I was running around. It was late. I definitely took some sausage dipped in there, and it was good. I got that king syrup out of the way. And poured it out. So, you know, I'm not a big pancake and syrup guy. I try to stay away from the carbs. They don't like me. So, but the syrup was good for sure. The little bit I had.
Sweet.
So, did the Outlaws race this weekend? I saw they raced a few nights. What, Thursday, Friday, Saturday?
So yes, they did.
Tonight?
So yes, they raced at Skagit, and they're racing tonight, I believe. Logan Short won the first night. I hadn't seen anything from any of this, to be honest. So
Same. I saw a couple highlights.
yeah.
I like Skagit, pretty cool.
Yeah, Skagit's a cool ass track, man. That's definitely a bucket list type of track. It's awesome scenery there, nice track. Just sucks it's 3 hours behind us.
Kind of, right? It's like another planet. So
Yeah.
Schuhart,
Hodenshield won the second night.
Gravel.
Gravel won the 26 grand on the final night. Good for him.
Saw the highlights of that last night. That was pretty good. Brad,
Yeah.
I was there, man. Like Sweet had such a run the lap, I think, coming to the white, and I was like, oh, we got something here, and just couldn't quite recreate that run. That would have been really cool to see, and it got good at the end. At least there was something to watch.
Fucking
what?
Brett. Fucking Brett.
I
love
Trying to
Brett.
get us canceled here.
He's trying to get us claimed over here. But yeah, so Brad Sweet, I mean, just real quick little touch up on the point situation there as we go into the final month and a half or so of the season. Almost 2 months, I guess. They go into November, so but still there's not that many races left, is my point. 76-point lead over Gravel. Sweet's just been he's finishing anywhere. If he's not winning, he's finishing anywhere from like 3rd to 7th every night. He's just there every night, not making mistakes, being consistent. It's how he won the title the past 2 years. Finishing races, finish them in the top 10. It's how you win titles in the World of Outlaws here.
That's how you win titles in a real point system.
Is that?
No.
Do you want to talk? You want to talk about it?
Now.
Okay.
We're on the dirt side right now.
And then moving off the Outlaws, then another little controversy here, and it's a question I want to extend not only to you guys but everybody in the chat right here, to anybody who may have seen it. Obviously, we talked about Freddie Rahmer already, and his move on the lap car that took the lap car out as he was battling Troy Wagaman for the lead. We also had an incident at Huset. It was the final race of the season, 7 laps to go. Austin McCarl was leading and also going to win the points title if he stayed there for Huset for the season. And Aaron Reutzel dies underneath a lapped car. Carson McCarl is it Carson? No, it's Austin McCarl. I'm sorry, Austin McCarl.
The big unit.
The big unit was up top. Aaron dove 3 wide underneath the lapped car, came up, got to the left rear of Austin McCarl and took him out, not only taking him out of the win for the race, but also taking him out for the title, which I think Brooke Tatnell ended up winning. Out of the two, you guys both seen both incidents. Which one was more egregious?
Reutzel.
Oof.
Because in my opinion, Freddie just, was dumb. But hits him in the middle of the corner. Reutzel went in there with the intent. He was going up top, and he didn't care if a car was there or not. He's racing for a win, and that is it. So to me, it's different.
Jeremy.
No.
No. I think Reutzel's is worse. Or no, I'm sorry. I think Freddie's was worse. I think it was 7 to go for Reutzel. I think he felt like he was going to blend in behind Austin, trying to get around the lap car, just misjudged it. I don't think it was. Listen, at the end of the day, both Freddie and Aaron are the guys at fault here. There's nothing else that the other guys did wrong who got taken out. But I think Freddie's is worse because it took out the lap car for no reason. Aaron was at least fighting for the win, battling hard. And also he hit, I know this is a minor detail, but he also hit the left rear of Carson McCarroll, the leader's car, where Freddie absolutely took out the front end of a lapped car. I think that's a little bit worse. So that's where I'm at. I think Freddie's is much worse.
Just have the fire off button ready. I can see it in his eyes.
Getting it ready. Before you go in, Steel City Demon over here says Reutzel just because of the implications outside of the wreck. I think for me that takes a couple points off of it. But that's just me.
They are the same thing. I don't care where they hit. I don't care who they were. I don't care their history. I don't care who was involved in the other cars. They are the same thing. Neither guy wanted to wreck the other guy. You could tell Reutzel when he slid, went down in there to take that chance. You watch the end of that video and watch it. He throws the car sideways, knowing he's trying to avoid hitting McCarroll. If he wanted to go and take that slider, he would have doored the shit out of him and destroyed him, and probably himself. When he realized he couldn't clear that slider, he tried to turn the car sideways to let McCarroll get clear and missed it. He misjudged it. Yep. Freddie went into that corner. He cannot see his right rear, nor can he see Arnold's left front anymore. He took a slider to go clear him, get to the cushion, and drive away from Troy. They both did the exact same thing and misjudged it and took out a car that didn't deserve to be taken out. There's not one better. There's not one worse. It is the same exact thing.
I pretty much agree with you. But if we had to pick one or the other, you're not picking one or the other.
I'm not, because they're racing for a win. Same thing. They're racing for a win. I don't care if it's a lap car or the other leader. Neither of the guys wanted to wreck the other car because they could wreck themselves. These are not NASCAR. These are not fendered cars that don't bend. They just as easily could have wrecked themselves, but it didn't happen. These guys are good, but they're not good enough to just go in there and go, okay, here's my strategy. I'm going to wheel someone else, and I know how to not wreck myself. But they're both aggressive because they win.
Yes.
Right?
Brett bringing it in here, it would have been okay if it was any other two drivers, just those two both have a history of racing like that.
I don't want to name a name because I'm not going to name anybody who finishes 7th on a weekly basis, but this is not going to happen with a guy that finishes 7th because they're not aggressive and fighting for wins. This shit doesn't happen. When have you ever heard about a dirty 7th place driver?
It's true. No, 100%.
Okay. When have you heard about drivers who create controversy? They're usually going to win.
I will name one, and his name is Danny Dietrich.
Only in big
I'm kidding. It's a joke.
No, Bradley Howard. Listen, that's actually just a talent problem. Love you, Howard. I don't know you. I know you know people that are probably cool or something, maybe. Anyway, that's not even 7th. I mean, that's giving him credit. But listen, it's the same thing.
Giving him a lot of credit. I'm sorry.
It is the same thing. It's guys that top driving on Ken Junk cars gets a pass. I don't care. It is bullshit. You're right. All of them. They're all bullshit when they do it to someone else. But if they don't take those chances, they are a third place guy, and everybody they're just a third place guy. You have to take risks, and sometimes those risks do not pay off at the expense of others. Sometimes those risks don't pay off at the expense of yourself. Yes. So it can go both ways. When Freddie went in there and did that, and if he knew that it was going to end like that, he probably would have done something different.
Yes.
Because there's just as much of a risk of his own car getting upside down and in the fence than Chris Arnold's. or Troy or whoever else. They're the same thing to me. The same thing. It was a risk to take the chance to win a race, and they misjudged it. They made a mistake for being aggressive.
I like this take by Brad. It doesn't get a pass. It just gets glorified to the point that people even talk about it. It's true. I mean, we're here talking about it right now. At the end of the day, to me, both incidents, I agree with you, Jeremy. Both incidents were a matter of inches. If Freddie clears Arnold by maybe just 6-7 inches, there's no incident. He's not going up into the fence. And same thing is if Aaron just is able to slide back a couple more inches, he's just blending in behind Austin, and they could get back to battling for the lead. Just think it's a little bit of misjudgment. Maybe not expecting to be there where they're about to, you know. So I agree. It's just because these two drivers have a reputation, and also to Smilo's point before, maybe Aaron's was worse just because it was the last race of the season. Austin's racing for a championship, but I mean, you're racing for a win, man. You're not thinking about any of that.
Yeah,
shit,
that's
man.
what I'm saying. When you're in the car, I don't think, oh no, that guy's not like NASCAR where you're getting fed all the information. You're in the sprint car. You don't know. I mean, you're not thinking about it. You're driving your damn car, and it takes so much energy and focus to just do that at a high level that you don't have time to be like, oh, let's not touch Jim Bob over here because he's racing for a championship.
Right, and not just that.
Which is why
I think
Ross Chastain the way I did. I'm not to get into that, but just kind of saying the same thing.
I get that. And I understand that to an extent. For me, too, especially with Freddie and Aaron, you're focused on racing the guy you are for position, which happens to be for the lead. You're focused on that. You're trying to defend against that. You're trying to navigate lap traffic. You're not really... They haven't been running around lap traffic enough at those points in times to know where the line is maybe for the lap traffic where they're going to run. You're focused on the other car and trying to beat the other car and just do what you have to do around the lap car. Hence why I don't know. It's
right. You can spend
tough.
Hours debating it, but
yeah, of course,
race car drivers,
they're both getting taken to the stake on this. Both Freddie and Aaron, they're both getting, they're both getting burned alive right now.
Court of public opinion, and when it comes to racing fans, man, there's not a more passionate group, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like we all know that. I'm sitting here saying, listen, what Freddie did, man, I'm like, God damn, that was bad, right?
Yeah.
And I look at the Reutzel thing and go, oh, you just spun him out. Is it? They're both bullshit, but they're misjudgments, man. Like we're sitting here on the couch, like judging these dudes, like they made a bad life decision, like grow up, man. Like they're racing for wins, and this is a sport. It's sometimes a contact sport. Shit happens. Like Freddie knew that he was getting run down. He knew his car wasn't good. He made an aggressive move to try to win a race. Aaron Reutzel, point leader or not, went in there and said, I'm trying to win a race. And you could see the last minute, he was like, uh-oh, this isn't going to work, and did his best to turn that car sideways, and he still didn't clear the guy. It was a misjudgment, period. Like, it's the same thing.
Yep.
These guys are going to get burned alive at the stake, though, because their name is Reutzel and Rahmer, period.
Yep.
Like, there was a chant that went around the Lincoln Speedway for years. Rahmer did it. Even when the old man was on the red flag sitting on the backstretch and it was like the 9th and 12th place car, Rahmer did it, chance would start. Like, this guy, like, he could never win a race without booze. Even if it never touched a car, he started from the pole and let every lap he would get booed because he was a dirty driver because he sandbagged in time trials. Like, I mean, I'm telling you, I lived through this, like, back in the day. Listen, I love them or hate them. That's what's happening with these guys. You either love these guys and you wear their stuff, or you hate them, period. Anything they do wrong, they're going to get ridiculed for missing a feature, or they're going to get ridiculed because they didn't time trial for shit, or they're going to get ridiculed because they bumped into a car. Again, they didn't bump into this one. Okay, I get it, but like, these are the same thing. These are the same thing. They are misjudgments by guys trying to win races.
I agree. It's if it wasn't for their names, I don't think we'd be talking about it as much. I do think it would still be a topic of discussion, but there's a history here. So, all right, let's move on. Before we move on, Cam over here saying racing is an inherently aggressive sport, like Ken just said. Sometimes you're the bat, sometimes you're the ball. It's just you focused on the race, not any scenarios outside of the moment. Smeal over here says Reutzel has been a douche for years. He got his from Wayne Johnson. Freddie got his from Macri last night. So fuck both of them. And that's what I was just about to kind of get into. That's definitely a Dietrich fan for one. But last night at Selinsgrove, I want to give a round of applause to Selinsgrove Speedway for getting their race in last night. It looked like it was going to rain. I did not go, even though that's other side of Bloomsburg is the closest track to me. They had a decent amount of cars, 22 410s. Brian Brown got the win last night at Selinsgrove. Macri was second, and I think Dietrich third. Shit. But I know, I'm pretty sure Macri was second. Lucas Wolf had a strong running as well. There was a little bit of drama apparently after Heat 1 where Freddie and Macri were both duking it out. And rumor is around the pit areas
like
that
Spider-Man type stuff. They look the same.
Yeah, they pretty much look exactly the same. But
wait, did you say where they were duking it out in the heat? Because
yeah, because I was watching the race monitor and everything, and they were going back and forth.
But then they duked it out.
No, they didn't. They duked it out.
Hey,
Well, I don't.
You didn't even realize you did it.
I would
that's
say.
how much of a professional he is.
Well, here's what I would argue. I would say Freddie didn't duke shit out. It was the old man, because the rumor was that the old man was stopped stopped Anthony on his 4-wheeler on the way to the redraw and had some words with them. I'm not sure exactly what happened. I wasn't there. But it's all hearsay. But that is the big rumor right now, and it even made Danny Dietrich bring out a tweet, a shocker, about it today. So, just basically kind of alluding to it. I think maybe Fred just thought it was Freddie on the wrong quad and said, "What the fuck are you doing?" And then realized I was Anthony Macri since they look so much alike. But I'm not sure exactly what happened. But this sounds like it's the second time now. This just your season alone, where it's the old man fighting Freddie's.
I heard Macri swung at Freddie, knocked his glasses off, and hit him in the face.
I didn't hear that.
The old man doesn't wear glasses, well, sometimes, but Freddie wears glasses, right?
Yes, he
So
does.
look at the tweet Danny sent.
Maybe Macri was just mad. Thought he was looking in the mirror. Said, "You suck, man. What are you doing?" And went to go punch the mirror.
Do you think they said the same words at the same time?
Yeah, I think they both did. They were like,
Definitely.
"Man, you suck. Why aren't you winning?" And then went to swing at the mirror, and really it was the other person.
Did either of them wreck in the heat?
No, they were just battling back and forth. There was like a 0.2 second interval, and here I'm going by tweets and Facebook comments and race monitor.
It sounds like a Smeal fight with anyone.
Yeah, really. Pretty much. That sounds exactly like a Smeal. So whatever happened there, I'm kind of here for it. I wish I was there.
Spills over into the weekend.
Yeah, I think it will, to be honest. Well, no, because Freddie will be back in the C main every night. But
Let's get World Star content out there, boys.
But yeah, so good for Brian Brown. Brian Brown makes this trip every year. And he's also bringing, it looks like he's bringing more Knoxville guys with him.
And
gal. But Chris, you got a really good photo real quick of Brian Brown right before hot laps and
out there with the Port Royal, him and Danny all there in the same corner. It's kind of cool. It would have been cooler if we had Jay-Z's camera, but we didn't. So cell phone would have to do. But
yep. Him and Lasowski right there. Lasowski looking on. It was a very, very cool photo. But Brian's been coming out here after the knock season ends for years now. He's usually here through the National Open, and it's good to see him get a win. I think he got a win a couple years ago.
I think he won last year.
I think he won last year. I think he won the National Open at Selinsgrove last year.
Right, and I think it's good to see him have success here. To keep him coming back, and
he's always running really well there. But yeah, so it's to me that I always kind of count Brian Brown as an honorary posse member because you don't see many other guys doing that, just coming out to PA and
Rico
and yeah.
They like Brian Brown, I mean Rico too, but Brownie came out earlier in the year too, before like Knoxville started. He's kind of like Brian Brown Camp East over here now.
He knows
Yeah.
where the money's at,
Yes, he knows.
and he
And he
knows
doesn't-
he's going to get better.
Yeah, he wants to run at Knoxville. That's his home.
And that's where
Makes
his
sense.
partners are all out that way too, so it makes sense.
But he still goes out on the road. I think he promotes I-70. He runs well there. He does go out with the Outlaws sometimes, but really, I mean, once that Knoxville season is over, like it was last Saturday, he comes right out the
How
PA, and
many
I love it. I love it.
Knoxville
It's
races
great.
Did he miss this year? And then
He
won the
did.
championship?
He
What a
still
badass.
won the championship.
Brian Brown.
Ooh, I like this.
I
I
love
like
that
this.
question,
This is. I love this question. On that note, who's your all favorite non-posse driver?
Brian Brown for me, unless we're counting him. But
Because we got to start thinking. We got to start thinking all stars. We got to start thinking Outlaws. Brian Brown's definitely up there.
I mean, you have your Tyler Courtney wing.
I do
panel,
really
your
like Tyler
Larson
Courtney.
wing panel. So
Man, there's a lot to choose from.
I'm-
To be honest,
I say definitely Brownie for me.
I'm with you. I think I'm going to agree with you. To be honest, mine is definitely not Hot and Shield.
Is Justin Peck posse?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
I mean, the car is. He's an all-star. He's an all-star, right?
He's kind.
He's
Yeah,
an all-star.
I mean, I'm not going to claim the dude. He's from Is he Cali or Ohio?
he's from Indiana, I think.
Or Indiana. He's from Indiana. Sorry, I get him confused. But like, if he's I'm going to assume like let's go him in the posse crowd. I like Justin Peck. I didn't think I did, but I begin to like Justin Peck a lot. But some of these all-star guys, like obviously I like Logan and Jacob, right? I think I'd root for them over some of the outlaw guys on a weekly basis. But like I couldn't be like, oh, like they're my favorite. Like I said earlier, I'm really getting into like Bill Baylog. Tyler Courtney's a badass. I mean, I think Tyler Courtney's going to win multiple or World of Outlaw races a year at some point in the near future. But like Bill Baylog, Justin Peck, and Tyler Courtney would be like my group.
There's a handful of guys that I pull for.
I do like Zeb too. I fucking like Zeb a lot.
I'm double fisted when it comes to guys that I wouldn't mind seeing win, and then there's a handful of guys that I just never want to see win.
Right.
So there's a big bucket there of guys that I like. I'll pull for if they're in the right position because that's how I am, I guess.
Yeah, I get it.
But I mean, there's really a handful of guys really that I pull for, and really the main, it's Lance and Brock, or really the two main ones, and Macri's getting up there for me. I really like what I see from him and Devin Borden. But outside of posse, man, I mean,
kind of like Brad said there, it's hard. It's not even that we don't see them. For me, I like guys that I have some kind of connection with. So it's obviously we're going to all the PA tracks and see those guys. That's why, thanks to Dakota, Jordan Giller's a cool dude.
Yep.
So guys like that, just by interacting with them,
right,
is where I get the connection. Not necessarily Larson was cool enough, but you see him, whatever, he's Larson. But I mean, that's it for me. If the guys like Devin Borden, we talked about that, it's just like things like that. Like that's where it's at for me. So it's kind of hard to go outside of PA, outside of Brian Brown, who I've met a few times, and just knowing how hard he works, it's really hard for me to go and be like, oh yeah, Justin Henderson. Like no, I can't.
Yeah. I know who I'm not rooting for, and that's Ayrton Jensen. So, sorry, bud. Sorry about your luck.
You'll have to ask Craig Dunn on iRacing about Ayrton Jensen. He's a big fan. Craig Dunn, his top three least favorite humans are both the Madsons and Ayrton Jensen. Little known fact.
Cool.
Not a lot of people know, but ask him next time you see Craig Dunn.
I love Craig Dunn more now because I'm not really. I gotta find out why. Obviously off air.
I think we need to find out who Brad's favorite driver is.
Yeah, Brad, who is your favorite driver, posse or non-posse?
Brad's a Cali guy. Might be like a Justin Sander. Well, who's your favorite non-Cali posse guy, Brad? Like
non-Cali posse guy.
Yeah,
so specific here.
Or is it like Cali gang? How's that work?
I think
like
the California Clique is what they call themselves or something.
I don't know how that works. So Cam said Casey Kane, since this is really the first time watched her consistently. Like I can appreciate that. I mean, he has a name, right? Casey.
Let's go. Brad, you are our favorite viewer. I love you. Let's go.
Brad's good people, man. Love Brad.
Yes.
He's a good
That's
dude.
what I'm saying.
Him and I did a lot of stuff together in paints back in the day when I was doing a lot of iRacing paints. And actually, where are they? I have a pair of racing gloves around here somewhere in this room that Brad actually got for me from a group that we did some paint picture paints for iRacing. It was pretty cool. What did we say here? So what did George say about 3 people you want to see miss the show or something all month?
Miss the show this whole month.
Oh,
well,
too easy.
It's too easy. Danny Dietrich, Freddie Rahmer. I hate them both. I don't pick a side there. I don't like them either one. And the third one,
Brad's sweet.
yeah, but
I want him to miss all the shows.
I don't know. See, that's the thing is there's not many other like posse guys I don't want to see. Like
Tyler Courtney. I hope he misses the show all 3 nights.
Fuck you.
Mine are easy. Danny, Freddie, and Macri.
Oh, come on with the Macri. Come on,
I
man.
don't even mind
Steel
Freddie.
balls. I know. I get it.
Why not? Beat it.
Well, Danny. Well, I mean, are we all in agreement on Danny and Freddie?
Oh, definitely Danny.
All right, so 2 out of 3 right there.
Hey,
Jeremy's going third with Macri. Man, I don't know who my other one would be. There's nobody else I really want to see like fail. You know what I mean?
Oh, sorry, bud. We want you to fail.
There's a bunch of
Get the hell
yeah.
out.
Well, I mean, you don't make the feature, you're failing, right? I mean,
if it's not a popular
There's
guy,
gonna be,
then
like,
it's kind of just
60
being mean.
yeah,
like,
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like,
You want Tyler Bear to
60
miss all
cars
3
gonna
shows.
be-
You're just being mean at that point. Like, it's not that he's not popular, but he's not a contender every night. Oh, Tyler, like you're just being a dickhead at that point. At this point,
Right.
it's fun to say, I don't want these 3 guys to make it every night. Danny,
Mhm.
Freddie, and Macri. Beat it. So if anybody thinks I'm a Freddie fan, like, okay, get out of here. Danny and Freddie are the same guy.
man, that's the third one's tough.
What's that?
I just
The
don't
third
think
one's
we-
just
You
tough.
don't want to make it?
Yeah. That
We'll
one's
probably
tough.
figure it out by Friday afternoon.
My-
something happens.
Corey Eliason.
I was gonna
Is he
say
even
him,
racing?
but I don't know. Yeah,
I would think why not in the 71?
I'll go with Eliason.
What did he?
I'll go with
Where
Elias.
did he hurt you guys? That's
He didn't. It's just that's a good one. I don't want to.
He's not a
I hope
bad
Zeb
dude, I don't
misses.
think, but I think he underachieves in good equipment. And then when he gets into 71 is when he wins races. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know if the 26 is perfect, but I just feel like he's been given so many opportunities and just hasn't done much with it.
Yeah.
Fair.
Just not
Yeah.
a fan. Just not a
If-
fan. I think that 26 car deserves better, and I hope Zeb gets there.
It smells
Yeah,
coffee.
I think Zeb would. I think Zeb's gonna do better in that car. Man, who would the other person be?
Gio.
No, I like Gio.
Yeah, I'm with Gio.
I'm kind of over it.
Fuck. That's tough. I don't know. Well, let's get into Tusky 50 then, as we're talking about guys missing the feature here. We got 3 straight nights of racing. Looks like the weather's going to hold out right now. Obviously we got, the All-Stars coming in, but we're also going to have guys like Gio Selzy, Rico Abreu. A lot of outsiders coming in. You know what? Who the other guy? The other guy is that the third guy would be Ayrton Jonathan. I guess that would be my third person.
Fair enough.
So, Tusky 50. Who are our favorites here? Obviously, we're talking about Macri. We're talking about Logan. We're talking about Lance. We're not talking about Danny. I'm sorry. I don't think he's going to be a factor, to be honest. Maybe Thursday or Friday night, but when it comes down to Saturday night Big Show, I just don't see him doing it. Sorry. I would love to see another Lance versus Logan battle versus Macri. I really think those are going to be the 3 guys to beat. But if Saturday was any kind of indication, I guess we got to watch out for Depp and Borden, and I guess we got to kind of watch out for Danny a little bit. I'll give you that.
I think you're right on it. I mean, I think you always have to look out for Logan, Lance, Macri, Brent.
Yeah,
like,
it's the person we're overlooking here a lot.
He's only
because he hasn't
won
been
every
yet.
big race of the whole fucking year.
That's true.
But like even the races he didn't win this year at Port, you go back and look at those races and track
He was
position
there.
was everything. He was just
Yeah.
just whether it was qualifying or the heat, whatever the case may be, just missed it by a touch. But I'm telling you, if he's on the game from beginning to end, he's going to be in the mix in the top 3 or 4 of that race. I don't care who else is there; he's going to be there. And the last Port race I was at, someone led a bunch of it at the beginning. Oh, it was Larson, I think, and then he had a tire or Courtney.
No,
And
Rico.
maybe, yeah, you know what, it was Rico. Rico was really good there, and he's been really good in this year coming in. So, is Rico confirmed to be in town? Is he
Yeah,
coming in?
and actually, George just put this in the chat. It's just the 3rd year in a row Rico leads laps and burns off
There it
tires.
is.
He did. He started on the pole last year, blew
Yep.
a tire, and I think he did that the year before as well. So,
Right. And hopefully Lance has the oil lines secured this
Yeah.
year.
hopefully he starts getting spit on by black stuff.
He didn't, Davey didn't fall asleep in the shop or something. No, that's harsh. That's mean. I can't believe you guys said that. That's just terrible. Hold on, I'm doing a fantasy draft. Who should I take here?
Oh
man, hold on.
What round are you in?
The 5th round already. I have 2 tight ends, a wide receiver. I think he's gone. I think it's going to be quarterback time. I just figure I'll just take care of Joe Burrow at this point. I'll take that forward. I mean, it's a good start here. I know quarterback's early for me, but I never go contrarian. I think you hit on all the guys who are going to be up there, and then Borden is a fringe guy. If he times well and gets through the heat, Justin Peck. I don't think he's been spectacular at Port Royal, but that car is just really good right now.
Yeah.
Like last time at Port, he was in the top 10, top 8 there. So, I think Justin Peck could be a contender.
God damn it, Smeal points. Fuck you, Smeal. FDS.
Yeah, but still, it doesn't help the tire wear thing where he burns the thing up in 50 laps. Like,
listen, we've talked about Ricky Warner this season. That's why Rico's better. This is September. This isn't news. Catch up to us, there, Steel City. Moron. Demon. He's had confidence all year. He's been winning races. He's been running up front. He's been at Port this year and led laps already this year. I think he's there. But you got to have a night go really well. I mean, it's one of those races with a lot of cars, and you have to have your night go really well. If you think you're going to be a good car and come through the field from 14th, it's hard to do. It's hard to do. Jesus, Chris, who are your favorite?
I mean, I'm not gonna pick. I don't know what you all said, but Logan Wagner's got to be the favorite. He's gonna lock up his 5th consecutive championship at the track.
Favorite though?
Yeah.
After what you saw on Saturday night?
Yeah.
He sunk like a stone on Saturday.
Who's the favorite? Logan Wagner.
I would say Logan Wagner has to be out of the gate favorite. I mean, Lance
how many races has he won this year?
Too many.
Oh, quite a few.
How many?
I don't know.
At least 5.
5 at Port Royal.
Yeah. He's won at least 5. I know that. Steel City, David.
Well, I mean, that would be. I mean, Lance and Brent would have to be the other 2 that I put in there. Brent Marks has pretty much won everything. Macri's probably going to break the car. Borden's probably going to be fast and probably break the car. Just a guess. But, I mean, if you're not going to go Logan Wagner, I think definitely Lance. I don't know. What'd you guys say?
Same thing. I mean, Lance, I think we had to look at Lance, Logan, Brent, Macri. And the fringe guys, Rico, I'll put Danny there. I've seen Danny run top 5 at Port Royal. I don't think it's like his favorite thing in the world. I don't think he puts it up on the wall like a Brent or like a Macri or, some of those guys. But he's like Lance and Logan, like they're middle bottom.
That's what he said a little bit in his interview Saturday night was that they were trying a different package out because he doesn't like going up top and banging the rails. So he was trying out more through the middle, and he's like, not surprising they got beat on the top, but he was gearing for 50 laps this week.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not quite Knoxville level of pill draw, being the utmost important, I don't think, for like a time trial lap, but I think you said he'd put a whole night together, so that time trial thing starts. Yeah, I mean, good, like Mike Wagner, Halligan, fringe guy, if he gets it right, a good night. Gets him in the right spot. You never know.
Had some speed this year up there for sure.
I mean, I don't want to beat up on the All-Stars, but I mean, outside Tyler Courtney and Justin Peck, I don't think there's anyone there that's gonna do much. I mean, Brian Brown was fast as hell Saturday night.
Yes, he was. And with Blazowski there, man, I mean, that car's been so much different. Obviously he's been good at Knoxville for forever, but Blazowski there, he has been a guy that's been a threat outside of Knoxville for the first time in a long time. So I would not count Brian Brown out by any means.
And like Jeremy said, there's so many good cars gonna be there.
It's
Like,
gonna
it's gonna be your whole night has to be put together. I seen Smeal said something about Logan's kind of struggled since May, which is maybe true.
Yeah.
But Lance has
That's
also
why I
not
asked how many
been-
wins, because that doesn't feel like it's
He
been
won a
this
bunch early in the
dominant year up there, you know?
He's always right there, but up Saturday night he did not impress me at all.
No, he kind
for
of was just
a guy who's
buried all night, and
Yeah,
that was it.
and he just you would
but even the
expect
thing
him
too,
to make.
Lance-
You would
Lance and that team
Lance
haven't
charged
been.
up though. Lance
One
charged
thing
up.
is they're not the same, obviously, as a year ago. They're a little bit off. I don't think. I mean, they're a little bit off, but they're still legends for a reason, so they'll figure it out. But
I guess
week to week, you don't see them dominating when they.
I guess if
are
I'm going between three guys, it's going to be Macri, it's going to be Marks, I think it's going to be Lance. I think those are the three guys to beat. That's me.
I mean, I
it's
think
true.
I don't think there could always be a surprise, but I think when you get to this time of the year and you have your track record on some of these guys, I think you know what you're going to get for the most part. Could any of them have trouble? Yeah, I mean, any of those guys could have that night where that just wasn't our night.
Goes wrong.
But I think when you get to this time of the year, you have your shit together and you have it right. You're going into big time stuff at the end of the year. So. Brett, this Zemco thing is every 1 to 3 years they're retiring. So
I do think this might be the last year for maybe Logan in that car,
which would be crazy to me. He's won 4 titles in a row, and
He's
they
gonna make
do
it
what they
5.
do.
That's be 5.
But he wants.
But
maybe wants to go race more.
he might
I
want.
mean, if he does, he would. He could go find a ride. He has his own stuff still, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, you never. And then how much longer does Mike keep going? You know what I mean? Maybe there's something there. Maybe that whole
JRM
Wagner Motorsports
to the 9.
Maybe
it's open.
Maybe
now.
Logan Wagner to that JRM 9 in Xfinity.
That's what we were told last year at this time.
That's what we were told last year.
Jacob Allen to the 1 next year.
Jacob Allen to the 1Z. It's confirmed.
And then now the 9's open. No one's announced there. I guess Logan Wagner's going NASCAR racing.
Brett says maybe just a part-time schedule for upcoming years. They already run a part-time schedule. I mean, they don't run anywhere outside of Port Royal. They won't even let the
they went to Knoxville and Eldora.
That's true. Yeah, but still,
vacation.
Yeah,
it was vacation. He flew them there.
Yeah, but still, I mean,
he went there to make money and it got all stolen and shit.
Yeah,
so I wouldn't go back either.
But they're not like a full-time team around here. They run Williams Grove on Friday. They run somewhere on Saturday, and they run all the other races that happen. Logan only runs
out there
Saturday.
anyway.
So to me, he's like a part-time team. So, but yeah, I mean, maybe they scaled it back more. I could definitely see that.
All right, that's enough of that. What's next?
I think Logan's got to.
Let's find out. Let's wait and see. Let's move on. What are we doing next?
Let's move on. Let's go into iRacing.
All right, moving on from that. Next, don't want to talk about that either.
We got full throttle. Chicagoland on Wednesday night was not a good night for Turn 2 Terribles. We're going to talk about this really quick. It's just not a very good night for us. We did not have a great setup. Our fall off was way too far off. Sparkle Unicorn bums kind of ran away with it.
We made them look good.
Yeah, they looked a lot better than what they actually were. We had short run speed. I qualified 5th. I was running up there battling for the lead for probably the first 30 laps, and then Chris's setup just fell off and really completely killed us. So fuck Chris. He wasn't even there. He built the setup and then he's not even there.
I did not build the setup.
We have Nashville Super Speedway coming up next, which I don't even know if I'm going to be at, to be honest, with everything going on this week. But hopefully if we do, whoever is there, hopefully Turn 2 Terribles shows out a little bit better. But congratulations to the Sparkle Unicorn whatever dudes on their great night.
It was.
Posse tomorrow night is the Dirt Classic qualifier, and then you also get obviously we're going to throw it up real quick.
I mean, he did say Twin 20s. Did he change the schedule?
We still need to make up the Twin 20s. I don't believe that's tomorrow night. Here's the schedule for this month. We had the Liberty Classic on Sunday. We did not have many cars there. Andrew May got the win last night. Williams Grove Dirt Classic qualifier this week. We have the last points race at Lernerville next week, and then we got Tuscarora 50 week, as well as the Williams Grove season finale, and then capping it off with the National Open. I think the Twin 20s is supposed to be that season finale, so maybe that'll be it. So we'll find that out. I don't know. We'll probably make that call tomorrow. But there's your schedule for the iRacing PA Posse for the month of September. Some big races coming up. I know we're going to have some invaders, so come check us out. We're working on a broadcast deal right now for at least a Natty Open, so check us out for that.
Wait, so what do we race tomorrow?
Williams Grove, I just don't know what the format is yet. I don't know if we're doing Twin 20s or if we're doing the Dirt Classic qualifier yet. We do got to make it Twin 20s.
Big fan of Williams Grove. Big fan.
Yeah.
Looking forward
There's
to
only
it.
one more race at Lernerville and really 2 more points races at Williams Grove before the Natty Open. So season's coming to a close, guys, just like it is in real life. It's kind of wild. We were talking about right before we went on air, and really how small amount of races are coming up. We're talking about probably Tusky this week, whatever races we can get there. Maybe Dirt Classic next week. Then you got Natty Open. Yeah, Brett, we got you.
I got you, Brett, if you're your own buddy. Hey, the other thing, too, we got an update for iRacing coming out on Wednesday. Lucas Oil will be released.
Yes.
I got you, Brett. Trust me, my stuff's nothing special, dude. It's all me. It's all this right here, buddy. It's all in these hands. That's the talent. Nah, dude, I'll get you hooked up if you're in a race. I'll definitely send you stuff. We got nothing special. I promise you. We just adjust on what we have. So,
he's just confused. There was a wing on his car.
Ooh, wait, what? There's a wing on it?
If he raced in the league last night, there was.
Yeah. Oh, did we race? I didn't even know.
Last night.
None of us.
I had such shit signal all weekend.
Yeah, we had very few cars last night at Port Royal.
Even George decided to let the monkeys run the zoo last night.
Yeah, I wasn't going to race, and then I was kind of around because I didn't go to Selinsgrove.
Wait, you actually raced?
Huh?
You actually did race?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Finished 4th.
Hey, you didn't wreck? Let's go.
Out of 5 cars. So when I say we had few cars, we had very few cars. So
all right. So anyway, iRacing update on Wednesday. So we got PA Posse tomorrow night, Williams Grove. The last race we had there, by the way, with the Posse League was outstanding. It was mint.
Yes.
Came from the back because myself and Michael Millard got into it in the heat. Came from the back, finished
Mexico.
5th, and one of the most fun 5th place finishes I ever had. And the top 4, the top 6 actually, because I think Strickler was 6, were like under a blanket, racing to the checkers. It was a fantastic race. So really looking forward to going back to Williams Grove, and then a little more NASCAR stuff Wednesday, and finish up the year with the Posse, and then we mix in Port Royal, I think, on a regular deal next year.
Yeah.
And DOB starts.
Well,
tomorrow,
that's
correct?
right. DOB starts tomorrow. Broadcast.
And I know why KR was mad about tonight, because I saw he went live at 9:00. Poor KR.
Yes. Sorry.
Buddy.
Wait, I thought, why is he mad about this? He goes live at 9, but we'd still be talking at 9.
Right.
Yeah, but
he thought we were doing the show. We told last week we said we were going to be here tomorrow. And then we did it tonight. He was pumped for a Tuesday show.
Yeah, I think we're Volusia. I think, what is DOB? Volusia and probably something terrible. Because Volusia goes with anything.
We're out on Thursday.
Huh?
Well, there's 360 start tomorrow.
360s Tuesdays, 410s Thursdays.
Okay.
Both nights will be broadcasted now. Turn 3 has the Tuesday, and I forget who's Thursday. I have to look up who that is, but that was a group crowd-funded deal on Thursday. A bunch of guys in the Wicked Cushion family, and then some of the Elbows Up guys and some other people chipped in to get Thursday nights broadcasted for Chris and DOB. So we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, I think I saw it. Turn 3 takes over like week 4 of the DOB season. I forget the starter though. I'm trying to look it up quick.
Good for DOB. I know they've been looking for a broadcaster, and with the new season coming along, it's good to see that happening.
He's still gonna go get Chris Roberts' ass. He knows it.
Yeah, Posse's still gonna come whoop that ass when you come to PA. So that's how it's gonna
talking dirt. Brad's got
All right, boys, I'm out. I'm gonna go do some other things here. Appreciate it, y'all. I'll see you tomorrow night on iRacing.
Yeah,
Thanks,
see you
everybody.
later. And we're gonna go right into the Jeremy Zarfos photo of the week as he leaves. Right before we're gonna talk some NASCAR stuff. So hang around, stick around with us for about. Chris, do you need a break?
Give me like 15 seconds so I can run downstairs quick.
Okay, give us about
45
60
seconds.
seconds. Give us 60 seconds, and while we
Let's see what the crowd's doing.
will we admire Jeremy Zarfos' work. We'll be right back. 60 seconds. All right, guys, we are back. And this picture, Jeremy Zarfos photo of the week, Brett Strickler going down the backstretch at Lincoln Speedway, just making the bump up to the 410s. It's been running really well. Awesome photo from Jeremy, as always. And as always, FTS. So, Chris, let's get into NASCAR this week. NASCAR. We're gonna talk. I don't want to talk too much about the Xfinity race. I just know it was a great finish. We all seen it between Larson, Gregson, and Sheldon Creed. Pretty wild finish. A lot of people are saying, well, Xfinity is so much better than the Cup car, whatever, or the Cup Series. Yeah, it was a pretty good. FDS me one more time. My bar ain't coming to Camp Degen. Motherfucker, you won't come to Camp Degen. We're the one to have it unlocked. Camp Degen, by the way, is Port Royal. We will be. It's just all Port Royal. Now we'll be at Port Royal. We'll be right across from the pits, pretty much right next to the road. See a bunch of Degen tents hung up. That'll be up. So anybody who will be there at Port Royal this week, come say hi. Yeah, we'll be there. Anyway, NASCAR. So yeah, the Xfinity race was pretty wild. Kyle Larson looked pretty good in that 17 car. Yeah, I don't really know. Gregson got the win in a wild deal. I don't really have anything else to say.
Door banging, old school-ish, I guess you could call it, where Larson and Creed started banging doors, smoke everywhere, sparks and chaos, and Gregson just comes through there and kind of helps his playoffs a little bit. It kind of helps him set up with Ty Gibbs showdown between him and Allgaier. We talked about it weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
That's 5 more points, I think, right, for their playoffs. So
yeah, their playoffs are weird
the championship,
because they still have like 2 more. They still have like 2 more races left in their regular season, which is weird.
Bristol's a cutoff. What's because it's a smaller field?
It's 12.
Yeah, it's one less round than NASCAR.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why like the truck playoffs started like 2 weeks ago, and I think they raced like 6 more weeks. Because
yeah,
to do something different. The truck schedule needs fixed or something. I don't know.
I think that might happen. I think you're going to see more cup or truck races. I'm sorry.
They have them so spaced out. I forget about the series half the time because of it.
Yeah, that's true. Cam over here saying, "Let's go, Gregson." Yeah, it was a great finish. Good for Noah.
If Noah can win this championship, that'd be fucking mint. If Allgaier can't, I don't want Ty Gibbs to win it. I'm just gonna be that guy. I'm saying it.
I could care less who wins, to be honest.
Wow.
I think it's been such a good.
You are.
No, I think it's been a good battle between really just Ty and Greg and Noah. Allgaier's kind of been there, but Allgaier is also like 50 years old, still in the Xfinity series. No disrespect, but
that sounded like a lot of disrespect.
I guess that was
very heavy disrespect there.
but I mean, really, between these two guys who are, they're both gonna. We know they're both gonna make the jump.
You say should, yeah. Well, I mean,
Noah's already locked in. I mean, Ty's
Ty's gonna be in the 18 by in a week. So
yeah,
allegedly.
Xfinity series has been good though this year. But we're here about the Cup. We're here about Eric Jones winning at Darlington last night, the Southern 500. In the 43.
Awesome for that team. Awesome for Eric Jones. I mean, the kid, he's still a kid, but it's like figure that out, like kind of getting cast away by Gibbs and then going to Petty. And he kind of seen what they were building when Bubba was there. Like they were a bunch of good runs, and they finally pulled off yesterday. They've been decent all year. I wouldn't say strong, but all year they've kind of had their nose in things, shown potential to win, and then they come through in a night like last night. That's pretty awesome.
Progressively getting better and better every week. That 43 has been in the top 10, like you said, for weeks now, and it's nice to see them get a win finally. Especially, it's another. He's won this race before. He's been very good at Darlington. So good for him. It was pretty cool. To get there, though, was pretty wild. And just one quick stat before we go into all this. The last time the 43 and the 3 won back-to-back races was 1999 in April. John Andretti won in the 43 at Martinsville, and then Dale Earnhardt won at Talladega the following week. So just those are two storied numbers, two storied teams that have kind of fallen on hard times really in the past 20 years, and finally they're on their way back up. I mean, Austin Dillon's been kind of on his way back up with that program and that team for a while. When Daytona and everything with it, but it's good to see Eric Jones bring that 43 back into victory lane. That 43 has not been good in a very, very long time. So that was pretty cool. There was so much that happened to get there, though. Kyle Busch dominated this race, and with about 25 to go or so under caution, that motor lets go. Crowd goes nuts. And for me, it was the first time I really felt sympathy towards Kyle Busch. I mean, he did nothing wrong. It just let go. And, that's, you want to see him do well before he leaves. Well, maybe you don't want to see him do well. Before he leaves Joe Gibbs.
Speaking of your old nugget, I was going to take a shot in the dark, but I verified it. Story numbers, 43-3. William Byron's going to win Kansas, boys. 24.
24 is not a story number. Get the fuck out of
here. That is false, and you know it. It's going to win Kansas.
Fire Jeff Gordon.
In 1999.
Hashtag fire Jeff Gordon.
In 1999, Gordon won at California the week after Talladega when Earnhardt won. So, boom. Lock it in, boys. William Byron.
No, William Byron. William Byron's best shot was Darlington. He ran pretty well,
Kansas.
But he's not going to win Kansas.
Numbers never lie.
Let's talk about hashtag fire Jeff Gordon, because the Hendrick cars looked like shit.
He was at Indy doing Porsche things.
Yeah, maybe he should focus on the team a little bit. Maybe he should.
Cam.
No, listen.
What the hell? The team. He's just
beginning of the race.
It was
even the very, very beginning of the race. Kyle Larson has just crazy dash issue. There's a bunch of error codes coming up. Car's not running right. He comes down pit road under green flag, loses 3 laps, goes back out. The error codes go away. He ends up somehow. Kyle Larson, tip of the cap, comes back from 3 laps down, well, almost 4 laps down pretty much, and ends up finishing 12th last night, which was huge because of all the other playoff drivers that we're going to get into having issues. And then Chase Elliott was one of those other playoff drivers, guy coming in and just completely overdriving it, and or whatever happened, I don't know. Got into the wall pretty bad. He got into a crash by himself. He literally wrecked himself. Chase Briscoe had nowhere to go after Chase Elliott was already wrecked.
Good job, Chase.
Yeah. Elliott's car went boom as well. Yeah, that's true. I don't know what happened there. But Bowman fought back from basically running 20th all night to somehow get a top 10. And Byron ran up there pretty well all night, but he also had his share of problems throughout the race.
What, 8th? And then he's 5th in points now?
Yeah, so something like that. But he also was coming over the radio complaining about a lot of the same issues Chase and Kyle were complaining about with some of the motor issues and some of the stuff just not feeling like he had the power. So maybe it was just an off night for Darlington. I don't know.
It was a weird night for playoff guys in general.
2 weeks in a row. What's up, Murphy? What are you doing, buddy?
He's in the show, man. Hey, buddy.
What are you doing? Goofball. But yeah, just 2 weeks in a row now for Larson. And if we remember, I mean, I know this with Chip Ganassi, but a couple years ago, it was at Kansas where Larson's playoff hopes went boom because of a blown motor. We're hoping not to see the same. It was very strange to see all the mechanical failures at first race of the playoffs when there's been mechanical failures, but not like this many in a race. But at the same time, Southern 500 is a tough race because it's at a tough track. It's very tough on equipment. It's tough on drivers. It's what it's supposed to be. I feel like this race is more tough than the Coca-Cola 600 so in many different ways just because of how difficult the track is. So you're going to see mechanical failures. We saw a lot of guys hit the wall and stuff like that.
Maybe George was working on Larson's car since
apparently since
he had a great day. George was there.
George had a great day working on cars here.
Yeah, tighten the bolts, bud. That's what Larson's telling all his guys.
But yeah, it wasn't really a banner night for Hendrick, but honestly, I mean, he still had 3 guys finish in the top 12. So it was a bad night for Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott had a 40-point lead over the cut line, and now he is like 10th in points. So it was a big shakeup in the points last night. Cam saying, I love the Southern 500 back on Labor Day, starting in the day, transitioning the night. I agree. I think it's great that I'm glad that Darlington has 2 races again. That just started again, I think, last year.
Yeah, if they ever repave that place, though, one date. That's what happened the last time. They repaved it. Just like anything else, when you repave it, racing suffers for a while. But, like, love Darlington, love it. Don't even repave it. Just leave it.
No, turn 2, you could see them getting a lot of bite off of turn 2 because that's the latest spot to get fixed. You know what I mean? So
make it I'm okay with them patching it. I mean, I'm just selfish here. Don't mind me.
I mean, they all got to be repaved at some point.
Yeah.
I don't think Darlington has anything to worry about for a while, but it was definitely eating tires because there was a lot of rubber on the track. So much so it ended up potentially make Kevin Harvick's car completely catch on fire. That was pretty wild to watch. He did nothing wrong. He hit nothing. All of a sudden, the camera cut to him, and he was fully engulfed in flames, stopping on the apron of the track, which the yellow did not fly yet. Kevin Harvick was pretty much out of the car and almost over the infield wall before there was a yellow thrown. And yes, just unfortunate for him. He was having a really great night. He was running about 7th or 8th. He was going to have a really good night, just a typical Kevin Harvick night, battling his way, picking off positions, battling through it, not doing anything wrong, keeping it clean, and almost probably was going to get himself maybe a borderline top 5 there and really have a great points night. Ended up having the whole thing go up in smoke.
Yeah, that's rough. I mean, that's a Ford thing, though. We saw, like, Chris Buescher had it the other week. Wasn't it Briscoe or Custer that caught on fire? Like, this feels like something
Ford
else,
related.
because it keeps happening. They did something somewhere along the line. You don't see, like, the other cars just catching on fire.
No, you don't. And maybe it's just a coincidence that every time it's been a Ford.
That's
But
incredible bad luck. I think 3 times. I
yes,
think they say is a trend.
yes. I know Kevin Harvick was very much not happy. And I don't blame him because he didn't do anything wrong. But he went at
He went
NASCAR,
off. He
and I
fired
don't
off.
think he really fired off on NASCAR. You want to talk fire off?
He's getting a fine, boys.
I don't know if he's going to get a fine. I don't think
He's
he'll
getting
get
a
a fine.
You might not hear about it, but he's getting a fine.
I don't think he's getting a fine. I
He's
really
getting
don't.
$100,000
I don't think
fine.
he was wrong.
I
But
don't think NASCAR cares if you're
at
right
the
or
same
wrong.
time, I think to an extent, you got to go and look at your own team before you start going and blaming NASCAR a little bit, because 2 of those 3 incidents have been in your own camp.
Right.
So
And NASCAR fixed the issue that presumably started
Well-
one of them.
they added another piece that was supposed to help fix the issue. I don't think it was going to take the issue away. What it sounds like was so much rubber buildup got onto the headers inside that exhaust and caught on fire. Another thing that I will kind of knock Kevin Harvick on was that he said he saw the fire in his dash for laps, and didn't,
Right, so
and,
why
and
you
then
still driving, bud?
so why are you still driving? You know, but at the same time, the safety of these cars needs to be addressed. We've talked about it in our Discord most of the week, and I've been kind of in defense of NASCAR a little bit on it, because I think the car is safe, and even though there's always room for improvement, the car is pretty safe. There have been some things that they have sacrificed in order to do what they're trying to do. But yeah, there's still definitely many improvements that they need to make, but I don't think anybody's, dying or getting seriously injured in this car anytime soon now, outside of, we know the Kurt Busch unfortunate deal. But Kevin Harvick's team last night, like, for me, and I think I was talking with Cam in the Discord at the time, why is there not a fire suppression system in there? How do you let that fire get that out of control?
Yeah, I mean, all sprint car teams and local tracks have that
They
system.
They had a fire suppression system in the last car, so
Right.
I don't get why.
That seems like
I don't get how Kevin Harvick was able to drive laps on end with a fire in its dash, and then to get to that point before anything happened. That's something that NASCAR's got to figure out for sure. But maybe it is just a Ford thing.
Right, maybe they should turn their cars over to NASCAR and see what they did to those cars. Because we didn't have this early in the year. Harvick goes out and gets 2 wins. Fords have been stronger across the board. Except you have a fire randomly in some of your cars. Like, I don't know. I'm not going full tinfoil hat here, but they've clearly altered something to have this start happening now. We went through 20 plus races without this, and now we have 3 in the last couple weeks. As you gotten faster, there's something going on there. Like that, they need to be careful what they're like. You know how NASCAR teams are.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, everything's spec'd out. It's very hard to find any type of advantage, so I'm sure they're trying whatever that they can within, or probably even outside of the rule book, that they're just not getting caught with yet.
Right.
So I don't know. I understand Kevin Harvick's frustration.
He's been against the car. I think some of this goes back to last week at Daytona and how
that whole thing was handled.
How that went with the rain, and then how he wasn't declared the leader, even though it wasn't going to matter anyway.
Yeah.
In the end, it
also
didn't really
caught
matter.
up with the wreck,
Right, but just the way that whole thing kind of had this vibe building a little bit, and he just saw a chance to just unleash hell, and it's kind of fun because we haven't seen that Harvick in many years. I mean, I saw a little bit with Chase out last year, but a fiery Kevin Harvick is a fun dude.
Yes. Yeah, it is, and especially
not
when he's running well. He was running really well last night, and I felt really bad for him. I had in my DraftKings lineup. It sucked. I ended up losing to Dakota Kuhn.
Again?
I was dominating DraftKings last night, dude. And then I had Kyle Busch and I had Kevin Harvick, and once they both left, that was it.
So Dakota's just been stacking pennies since winning
that
sprint
much.
card. That
Yeah.
that son of a bitch. Next week, Dakota Kuna be here. We can bully him here, or he's gonna bully us.
I'm gonna try to
Something's
find
gonna
out his DraftKings secrets and how he's been.
He's clearly an expert.
Yeah, clearly.
Clearly.
Daniel Suarez failed pre-qualifying tech 3 times, and ended up coming back. And I don't think he got a top 10 finish, but he was battling up in the top 10 quite a bit after he got his lap back and everything. Good for him. That was much needed. So I think I need to find points. That I posted.
I saw Harvick is now the bottom.
Yeah, So right now the bottom 4 is Cindric, Dillon, Briscoe, and Harvick. Chase Elliott went from Chase Elliott went from 40 points to the good in first place to now 9th place, only 14 points to the good. Somehow Kyle Larson is 7th, even after everything. So Joey Logano is top in the points. Since there was no playoff driver win, there's nobody locked in. So
Kansas and Bristol, though.
Kansas and Bristol, I'm sure
more spicy.
Yeah, for sure. And I definitely think a playoff driver is going to win each one of those races. But there's a lot of points out there, and I think stages are going to get crazier because of it being a point race now. The points are so tight. I mean, from 6th,
it's now a real point system. From
6th to 16th is pretty much a one race points difference. Brian Blaney is 20 points up, and Kevin Harvick's 13 points back. So that's a 33-point gap from 6th to 16th. And really, Joe Logano's only 38 points up, so anything can happen here. And I think I thought stage racing got pretty intense last night. I think that's just the icing on the cake. I think you're going to see a lot of guys go for those points because, I mean, they're
going to need them.
They're going to need every single point that they can get. So I'm excited. I think Kansas is always a good race. I actually could see Willie B winning.
Never lies. Final corner guys. Best friends.
Yeah, final corner guys are big Jeff Gordon fans and Willie B fans apparently. No, I could see that. I'm not saying that I can't see that, but I think Chase Elliott's going to have a resurgent week. To be honest, I think he's going to be the guy going into it.
Back to Kansas won, and Kurt Busch won. Toyotas were strong there.
Toyota's been strong,
right? But I mean, not on the road courses, but like overall, I think this is
Toyota's made up 6 of the top 10 last night, so
two guys blew up.
Right. Yeah. So it would have been, or they had 4 of the top 10 last day. Would have had 6 of the top 10. Ty Gibbs was up there. I think he finished just that. Bubba was in the top 10 all night. He was good.
Ew, Cam. Never mind.
William Byron is 2nd in points. Denny Hamlin's 3rd. Christopher Bell 4th. Tyler Reddick 5th. Ryan Blaney 6th. Larson 7th. Chastain 8th. Like I said, Chase Elliott all the way down to 9th. Bowman 10th. Kyle Busch still above the cut line in 11th. Daniel Suarez 2 points to the good at that cut line at 12th. And Cindric, Dillon, Briscoe, Harvick, first 4 guys out. I think Cindric, Dillon, Briscoe are all done. I think Harvick has a chance to get back in this. But Cindric, Dillon, and Briscoe, they haven't impressed me at all year. They've been 20th place guys most of the year with a couple good runs on tracks that they're, basically road courses.
Basically, if you're that bottom 4, you're getting out of that by winning.
Yeah.
And Harvick's the only guy down there that I could see him winning Kansas.
I could see him
or Bristol or anywhere the rest of the way, right?
Yeah. And even then, I think if he has a solid Kansas and Bristol, especially if this first race was any indication on how the rest of the playoffs are going to go, I think if Harvick just has a solid Kansas and Bristol where he finishes top 10 in both of those races, he's getting to the next round. I think he can make up those 13 points pretty easily.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy that I would bet on to do that for sure.
Even if he doesn't win, I think he's okay. It's not the end of the road yet, and it is so tight. I mean, even Joey Logano isn't even fully safe. I mean, we saw what happened with Chase Elliott just this past week, so pretty wild. And with every point, every position just being 1 point, there's a lot that could be made up here. So Kansas is going to be kind of wild. Any other thoughts on that?
No, I mean, tough break for Kyle Busch, everything going on. But good for Suarez, battle back from his issues and make the best of it as he could. But, I mean, Eric Jones winning, so cool for that team and for him and everything. Anytime the 43 wins, I'm here for it. So, yeah, I mean, it's perfect. Southern 500.
Southern
Darlington,
500, the
43
number
cars,
43
wins.
winning.
America.
Right after 3 wins at Daytona. I mean,
Pretty much the most American you can get.
that's the 17th different driver to win this year. Like, it's...
And I don't think we're done seeing new winners.
You are not. I don't
think-
think so either.
I think,
Blaney's still due for one.
oh, I forgot about Blaney, Truex,
Yep.
Busher,
Busher,
Wallace has been
Bubba.
fast. Like, there's
All those guys could win. Some of these guys that you're going to see at the end of the year, they're probably going to be the strongest cars, but they might not even be in the playoffs. So it's just
Right.
going to show how guys are catching up on this car and just the parity in NASCAR right now. I think it's a great thing. I think it helps
I
bring
hope it rolls
sponsorship
into
and all
next
that.
year.
Business-wise, I think it brings a bunch of sponsorship and a lot of opportunities to NASCAR because you don't have to be on one of those type guys to be on TV all the time, and there's so many different aspects of it.
Right.
It's good to see.
Right. I mean, who else? You had McDowell run. I saw he was running really well. Keselowski gets to the top 10.
Yes. Yep.
So RFK's resurgence a little bit. Like, it's
Mhm.
happening. Like, I think
Bubba
obviously
Wallace.
they didn't have the year. Bubba Wallace, I mean, I saw he was running 6th just all day.
He's
That's
just
what
been,
he
he's,
needed. Just a
he
good
has been
day.
he's been a top 10 car for 2 straight months now. For those that say he's overrated and whatever, you're just wrong. That
And I was
car
gonna say,
is
too,
there
he
now.
runs really well at Bristol, and a couple weeks there's an opportunity there
Good point.
because he ran there well in the 43. But again, it's come playoff time. It's hard for a non-playoff driver to
Yes.
win, just because the way it works out, right? The playoff guys are playoff guys for a reason. But yeah, no, he's been on fire the last 2 months. I think his worst finish, I think he broke somewhere and he had an 11th place somewhere else. Like, other than that, he's been top 5, top 10 since Pocono.
Yeah, the whole Toyota camp has really come on. Denny Hamlin, I think, is arguably the best car right now.
But he's so inconsistent.
He hasn't been. I don't understand.
The
He was
team
in-
itself been.
No, he was inconsistent at the
mistakes.
beginning of the season. They have not been the past 3 months. They have been the most consistent team, I would argue. They've been up there in
Yeah,
the
but
top 5 every week.
But he's battled back from either pit stop penalties, sitting backwards, wrecking Chastain, whatever it is. Like, he's not been the Denny Hamlin of years ago. Now, that could be good for him because maybe he wins championship because he's not been the Denny Hamlin of years ago.
I think he's the favorite. After Chase Elliott last night, I think he's the favorite.
Drugs.
I mean, he finished second last night and almost won the race. I mean,
That guy.
he's been
Denny
up there
Hamlin
in the top
wins this
5 every week.
championship.
Toyota's
I'm gonna be
definitely
an angry individual.
Toyota. All right, out of the 3 manufacturers, who's the strongest manufacturer right now? It's definitely Toyota.
Chevy's right there with him.
Are they? I don't think they're any better than Ford right now.
Didn't Chevy win last night?
Sure. They
I mean,
also
they're right
have,
there.
they also have 2/3 of the field.
Don't let your stats get in the way. Like, I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I mean, Denny obviously is right there with Chase and Larson, Harvick, Kyle Busch. The veterans are going to figure it out, right? So, I'm not saying you're wrong. I just saying I don't want Denny Hamlin to win the championship is what I'm saying.
Okay, that's fair. But Denny Hamlin's going to win the championship.
That's
It's more and more trending to that, I think.
Well, it would if it was a real point system, but that's a different topic for a different day.
We're not getting into that now.
We're
We're
not doing
almost
that.
2 hours in.
I know.
We're getting into the final segment here, guys. Drink it or dump it.
Go for
Drink
it.
it or dump it. This is a segment where we give a tip of the cap. We give a cheers to something that we saw over the weekend. We give it a dump it, a sad dump it, or an angry dump it, whatever. Or you're pouring one out for the homies. I'll start. My drink it this week. Selinsgrove Speedway getting that race in last night, having a good field, having a bunch of good cars. They got the whole thing in, and about 10 minutes after it ended, it started raining. So good for them. I'm a little bummed out, but dump it to me for not going. But and my dump it is Kyle Busch, man. I mean, this dude dominated that race, and just mechanical failure took him out of it. And even though the fans erupted when it happened, which is wild. Team Sparkle Unicorn, get out of here.
Get the heck out.
Get out of here. Get out of here. But yeah, those are my drinking and dump it's. Selinsgrove shouts out. Well, I'll save it to the end. I'll do honorable mentions at the end. Because I missed a big one. But go ahead, Chris.
I'm gonna drink it for our old buddy Brett Perigo winning again. Love it. I need my Perigo shirt on. That's my guy.
Hold up.
Okay,
I'm a
that's a
drink.
good idea. That's a terrible
It's a great idea.
I've already seen you do 4 of those.
That's a lie. It was only
Okay.
2.
Yeah,
Now this is 3.
I can tell when it's getting there. Your hat starts getting disheveled.
Perigo.
Perigo winning. That's awesome. Drink it up for that. Yep. George nailed
love
one.
that one.
He
Yeah.
took mine, but that's fine. I guess I'm gonna. That's what can. So George talking about Grandview, pour one out for Grandview. My dump it's gonna probably have to go to probably NASCAR. Get this schedule out, okay? Like I don't really have a strong opinion to dump it out, but the schedule needs to be out. It's September. You race in 5 months.
Yes.
Allegedly, we don't know. But we're
Yes.
presumingly you race
Yes.
President's Day weekend in February in Daytona. So, come on, man. The NFL starts
agree.
next week or this week.
Get it
one of
out
these
there.
days. Your schedule is nowhere to be found. Like how you want people to
Figure out where the fuck Kyle Busch is going to.
Yeah, that too. But that's more of a they don't know where they want to take the car yet because there's no schedule. So NASCAR figure it out. NHRA has their schedule out.
Yeah.
Ron Capps, good for him. He won the day.
It sounds like the hang up is the All-Star race, but
The All-Star race.
just make it to be determined and put everything else out, man.
Just get rid of the All-Star race at this point. If you're gonna put it back in Texas, no one's watching the shit anyway. So just be done with it. Either
Keep
go to
rotating.
Charlotte, go to Bristol, go wherever, just not Texas.
Just keep rotating it. The
And get the
All-Star race
schedule out.
should
I
be
don't really
rotated.
care.
All-Star race should be rotated.
Just don't put it on a super speedway. Don't put it at Atlanta.
I'll put it on Super Speedway. I'm fine with that.
You are, but the drivers won't be. That's chaos.
Gives a
Put it-
shit.
Make the LA
the
Coliseum
All-Star
and
race.
Flash and the freaking All-Star race. I don't care anymore.
Yeah,
That's it.
I don't really care about it either. Chat's out. Yeah.
Just get the schedule out.
We got the drink it to Eric Jones from Cam here for sure. Eric
Absolutely.
Jones, great showing. I'm trying to click the wrong thing here. I'm
I do want
sorry.
to appreciate that George switched from Twitch to YouTube to keep
I
watching.
appreciate
What a
it. I
gem.
appreciate it. Keep giving us views, man. I appreciate
He
it.
is the king of Posse-land for a reason.
Ooh, I can't agree with you there, Cam. Oh, that's gonna make me do it. That's gonna make me do a
Well,
fire off
you
segment.
can't do
there
it.
at the end.
Nope.
No,
The
no,
Wilkesboro, I like the Wilkesboro thing.
no.
We'll save that conversation, but Wilkesboro, I mean, I would rather them do Wilkesboro, Hickory, and South Boston than we're going to Texas again. Just saying.
I'd rather them go to Texas than Hickory or South Boston. South Boston doesn't even exist anymore, doesn't it? Or no, that's
Very
Myrtle Beach.
much.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, just
Sorry,
Stop,
sorry.
Stop. You're done.
Um,
Pour one out for Grandview. Dump it for
Yeah.
Chase Elliott. Sucks
dump it for
him,
Chase Elliott, and also I know Smeel gave a drink it to Devin Borden.
Of course.
That's a big one.
and the
Let's
Steiner
see if he
Shuttle
can.
team.
Yes. Let's see. Boozaholic with the hashtag Team Sparkle Unicorn Racing 123. Yeah. Cheers to you. That's not gonna happen again. Trust me.
I just hope that's Zuber.
I'm pretty sure it is.
It's gotta be.
Yeah, definitely pour one out for Grandview. That's a good one. Grandview is shutting down at the end of the season. I'm glad to see Brett get a win there right before it shuts down. Unfortunate situation going on there. And it's honestly becoming an all too common theme with dirt tracks across America.
Lost I-30 last week too.
Yep. Yeah, it sucks.
Grandview.
Very somber. Something just to mention, a drink it and a dump it. Nick Hoffman involved in a very serious accident this week. He was it sounded like he was almost in a coma. And his dad has been in a neck brace and stuff like that and a lot of pain. They went through. Hi, Dakota.
See you next week.
Yeah, they went through some stuff, but it sounded like Nick woke up and is a little bit better. So
he has broken jaw, at least.
Yeah. Cheers to Carl Edwards and Ricky Stenhouse, who really helped that family out, get them there, flying them there, and helped them out in different ways. So good for them. Yeah, basically we're basically an hour podcast for dirt and an hour podcast for NASCAR at this point. So it's basically we bump it all into one stream.
Give us some suggestions if you want to see some different things. We're trying to keep getting better. We're gearing up for next year. Yeah. We can't wait to have the guest on and things like that. But yeah, keep giving us your thoughts and feedback so we can keep making this thing better. Yeah, and we're trying to get into like editing things more and everything like that, and trying to do. Yeah, we do that. But yeah, we basically do two different things here. So we lump it all into one stream. We appreciate you guys all hanging out with us throughout the entire thing. Camp DGen this weekend, yes, Meal. We're pumped for that. So if anybody is at Port Royal this weekend, trying to tell us to say that. No, but Camp DGen this weekend, we're gonna probably try to do some type of live stream this weekend. If it's not Friday, if it's Saturday night or whatever, we'll see how it goes. But we're gonna be camped out at Port Royal. So if anybody listening is at Port Royal this weekend, come hang out. We'll be right next to the road near the pits. You won't be able to miss us. Come hang out. If not, hit us up on any of our social medias. We're going to probably put the Discord out there pretty soon for anybody to join if anybody's on Discord. We want to hear from you guys. We want to know what you guys want to hear to make us there. Chalk Guy will be there Friday, so good. Let's go. I believe that's Chalk Guy, at least. It just kind of keeps coming up Facebook user, and I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure it was him. Either way, yeah, we'll be there.
Whoa!
I am your legit cornhole partner, bud. Okay.
Listen,
Jimmy brings us all down. He
That's
got beat
true.
by.
I wasn't his partner.
I don't know who was.
I can't remember who was his partner. I know I was.
Oh, it was Alex. It was Alex Robinson.
Yeah.
No, we won't do that to you again. You can have Smeal, Dakota. It's fine.
Oh, yeah, that's not any more legit. I will be doing a bunch of different shit, but we're going to try to live stream at some point Friday or Saturday. And just try to either do a pre-race or a post-race or something like that. So just watch out for that. If not, we'll be back on Monday. And we'll be back with Dakota Coon.
Oh, you had the whiskey guy there.
Oh, that's right. He had the whiskey guy.
That guy ruined our night by giving us so much whiskey.
He didn't ruin our night. That was damn good whiskey, man.
It was damn good whiskey. That's the problem.
It was great.
He's got to drink it. Let's go.
He's got to drink it. Let's go. Hey, anybody want to give a drink it or dump it before we go? Any shouts out you want to do before we get out of here? I want to shout out all you guys for hanging out with us. Shout out to Dakota Coon for coming on the show next week. I'm pumped for that.
And while they're thinking of that, remember this was supposed to be it's supposed to be a short show. Remember you said that?
Yeah,
I told you it never goes that way.
I know. I thought, I'm like 75-minute show. Here we are 2 hours later. I'm cool with it, though. I have so much fun with this, and you guys are the reason why we have fun with this as well. So, and cheers to you guys. I think that's going to be it.
Next week, Dakota Coon.
Dakota Coon, Tusky 50 this week.
Port.
See you all at Port. That's it. Have a good night.